Okay, we're about to start our meeting, but unfortunately, there
There
he
you go.
is. I was just about to say, Rafik, I was going to shame you publicly.
What?
I was about to shame you, Rafik, for being late in the meeting, but looks like that.
No, it's only 1 minute. Just
Pata, pata. Hey, I have noticed everyone gets to meetings more on time since we did remote working. It's one of the benefits of this new system. Okay,
okay. I just love the meeting.
yeah, I think Rafik, you're a secretary.
Yes,
Rian
sir.
is chair. Here, gentlemen, I want to show you something real quick. Okay, so this is a new meeting practice. It's a new best practice, I hope, and it's like this. So currently, when we set up our meetings, we go over to a separate paper and we set up the meetings there. In the future, what I was thinking we could do is, let's say, for example, this one, right? Let's say, for example, let's take Tendi, for example. Let's say Tendi wants to set up a meeting with somebody. We don't need to wait until the end. Sorry, wait, let me get rid of this YouTube thing. Sorry, I'm uploading videos. I'm not watching YouTube, right? So I have this open to upload. Okay, that's a little bit less distracting. Um, I know. Rihanna's like, yeah, right. Okay, so what I have here is essentially this. When we call out a meeting, the current system is we call out the meeting at the end. And that's not so good because, by the end you might forget what you wanted to meet and who you wanted to meet with. So from now on, we will set the meeting in the middle of the card, right? So let's say, for example, Tendi, the chair will ask Tendi, do you plan on having any meetings or any follow-up to this discussion? And then Tendi says, yes, I will. Then the secretary will go here. They'll write meet TMP. It's meeting template. All right. And essentially this template will flow onto the card. And then what the secretary will do is that they will create the room, people, time, and the intended results. Okay. So that way the meeting happens inside the card. And later on, when we come back, we will just look at that card and examine, okay, has this meeting actually happened or not? Now, for company visibility, if this is a meeting that is between chapters, we ask that the person who are involved in the meeting, can you just make a Google invite for it, right? If it's just within the chapter and it's nothing to do with anybody else, then you can, we're going to let you use your own judgment for this one. The reason why we want to use a Google invite is so that other people might be aware of it and they'll also be able to find time in your schedule. So you don't want people to interrupt you right during your meeting, right? So it's basically a signal to say to everyone else in the company, hey, look, for this block of time, I'll be in a meeting and sort of do not disturb me. So if you do anticipate it will be a longer meeting or a meeting where there could be several actors involved, then do create a Google invite and then invite the other person and attend. And what that will do is that will make it easier for somebody who wants to share time with you or ask time of you to understand when to chip in. Okay? So we're going to give that a shot today, and I think this will be a evolution of the previous system, and it should make it a little bit easier for everyone. Okay, over to Bayou. Bayou, does that handle what you need in an efficient way? Okay, Bayou.
Sorry, this one I'm a bit lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, let's go to Riyad.
But I'll just yeah.
Okay, Riyad, over to you.
Okay, so we're going to abandon the breakout meeting from community paper then. Okay.
Yeah. What we
You don't need to revise that after the meeting, right?
Yeah, we won't need the paper anymore. So
Okay.
the problem with the paper is that we have to go to paper and then we go to Trello and then we go back and forth, and it kind of breaks the flow and it's not very elegant. And also, when you ask for people, do they have any meetings at home, it's not as effective as if they're right on this subject. Meetings
Okay.
always follow a subject anyways. We don't have meetings to just have meetings. They follow a certain type of card. So we might as well just put it on the card. And the next day, when we review the card, we can just ask, all right, what were the intended results, and did those results happen? Okay, so that's it. Today, what I'll do is I will, Rafik, you're doing this. Rafik, you're secretary today, right? Okay, so Rafik will need to remember the call out for the meeting template. Rafik, do you remember the text expander for the meeting template? Rafik, you're muted.
Meeting TMP.
Meet TMP, right?
Oh, meet TMP.
Meet
Okay.
TMP, and the template will pop out, and then the secretary can fill in the rest of the details. Okay.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Let's go ahead and juggle that. Bayu, back to you real quick. I just thought of a way that we can do this. If the meeting happens inside the 1 hour slot where the chapter meets, then I don't think we need to put a Google invite, right? Because then we can assume that everybody is in the meeting, right? But if it's outside that, then that's when they should have a Google invite, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. It's helpful to have Bayu here so that I can also make sure that what we're asking is technically correct. So, gentlemen, if the meeting is within the hour, like it's between 1 and 2, then no need to create a Google invitation. If it's outside that time, then please create a Google invite. And that will allow other people in the company to know where you might be so that they won't interrupt you during a meeting and ask you for things that like are inappropriate. Okay, with that being said, let's go over to Rian. Rian, you will bring us through the chair today. All right, let's begin.
Okay, then thank you, sir. So let's go to start the meeting. And I believe that since yesterday we have like a one breakout meeting from Andre. Andre, would you like to give an update for that?
Breakout meeting with who? I'm sorry, Ren.
I believe that yesterday you have a breakout meeting with Kanha and Maharaja as well.
Oh yeah, that's actually that's another training I already done with Maharaj on site stuff, and also the Buddhas. I think it's not done high Buddhas on site team, so it's already done.
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean the same person, but yeah, it's kind of us. Okay. Thank you,
let me pause real quick, Rian. Okay, we need to know what the result is of that meeting now. So
okay.
as chair, you're going to need to ask Andre what the results are.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that, but then I actually want to write it down. So the result is they already know about the standard, and I already tell them again about what is the point of the new CSC program. So the buy-in from Buddhas will ready for the monitoring by tomorrow, and for the other one is I don't think that they are ready to make it by tomorrow. Things they still need time to prepare.
Okay then. So that's for update from you. It's so you're going to have like a follow-up meeting with them again, right?
Yeah, sure, but I don't know when will I have a meeting with them.
Okay then. That's the update from yesterday, and then let's go. So let's just roll out to today's Trello. Go back to Trello board, and we're going to see from Andre. It's a 3C improve communication culture between DP and the owner community.
Yes,
I believe it's Dalam yesterday, largest slot, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's different. It's already. I mean I put it on the other side, so I'm focusing on Omah JTH. I already invite him, but I will try to make the 3C by tomorrow. That's my update.
Okay, great. So do you have any meeting for today?
Any meeting regarding this 3C? I think no.
No. Okay. Yeah.
But
so then.
regarding about the CSC, I have at 2 p.m. Vita. It's monitoring with Sila Sabina.
I see, which already merged with 10 initiative, I guess.
Oh yeah, actually yeah.
So yeah. So we'll just talk about that later when we go to the Caddy's card, because since I don't see the card here, so I believe that Jing's merged into the tennis card ultimate with the surface. So is there an update? Is there a further update from you, Andre?
No, I think that's all from 3C.
So okay then, is there any questions to you guys regarding this? No? Okay, good. So let's go to the next card from Tandy. It's ultimately the surface. So I saw that we already have like two projects being merged here. One of them is Andre CSC. So I would love to go to Tandy first, and let's talk about this. Tandy, over to you.
Okay, so I have update on my card as well. So for the preparation time already done. So I had make the Canva for the bigger feature, and then the CSV is done as well. And then yesterday I've done the Canva for digitize the digitize the check-in process. Also, I make the video training also for digitize the check-in process, and then I just uploaded today. So there's a link also there if you want to have a look. And then on that Canva, on that material, it's I make what is the evaluation like from the previous, and then the what is the for use the news method. So that I made on the Indonesian language, so that will be make the staff more understand about that. And then for the next step, I would like to contact the next 12 batch in the Squad 1 region with Rian, and then need help with Om Rafiq for contact the next 12 batch in region 2, and then with for Andre need help to share the CSV process with Rian and Om Rafiq, because I would like to review how long actually we need to take the time for the CSC, and then how long we need to take time for the so we have like a deadline for make it track. So it's if we can like make as long as short as possible, it will be more great, so we can roll it out more faster to other properties. So today I would like to have a discussion with all you guys at 1:30. Is it possible?
Okay, so you're intended to have a meeting at 1:30?
Yeah.
Let's see. I believe what about 2 p.m. then, because I believe it will, if it's 1:30, I think it's going to be to close with this meeting, which I hope that it won't be, I hope that this meeting can be ended up sooner, but I believe, what about if it is 2 p.m., it's going to be safer.
Okay. If and Om Rafiq and Andre can as well.
Actually, 2 p.m. I have a monitoring session with Sabina. How about that? So I might be free at 3.
Okay, at 3 then I believe Rafiq as well available at 3.
Okay, at 3 then. So
yeah,
probably
I will
Om
make
Rafiq.
a Google invite, Google
I see.
Google
Yeah.
Calendar.
Great. And then, Mr. Secretary, can you write down for breakout meeting? It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work about the meet
Oh no? Okay. Rafik, do you have your textexpander turned on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll hit you up. All right. Here it goes. Here's the there's the breakout now. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow,
Okay.
that was cool. That was an assist. Okay, back to Rian.
Okay then, thank you, Jing. So, okay, so the breakout meeting is about CIC follow-up, or this project follow-up, and then involving Rafik, Andre, Tandy, and me. And then the time is at 3 p.m. And what is the intended result again, Tandy? So that the secretary can write it down.
We can use Tandy Scrum.
No, I mean the intended result.
But then the intended result is you and Om Rafiq understand the process of the CSC, the program, and then also we can what's it called, decide the time for the each program, each project, each program. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So, let's see, Tandy, because I believe that you have like a digitized program as well, which in sync with Rian, my project as well, which are way further behind. Not way further behind, but now it's about simulation test, so it will be done soon. So I just want to ask you when you want to have this digitizing process start.
We can discuss on that meeting, Rian.
Okay, we have some discussion on that room as well. Okay then. Okay, so Andre, since you say that you're about to have a meeting as well for a CSA from your side, probably I will just open the card from you here which already merged in the, if you guys can see from the previous card, we have like an official certification from Andre. If you open that up, if you don't mind to open that up. So we're going back to Andre again.
So regarding this program, I want to perform another MVP, which I already choose three. It is actually Tilakil, Rumah Pertama, and Kanha, because I think they have a pretty good inquiry lately, and Kanha is the same person as Budas, and Villa Rumah Pertama, I think that yeah, they have a good inquiry too. I'm also thinking that this is a good timing to start with another squad, especially squad 2, which have another good inquiry these days. And maybe I will have a with this week. This week, well, we can discuss this later on when we are doing the breakout meeting.
Okay, sure. So we'll talk about this in breakout meeting. And do you have any other meeting other than that breakout meetings?
No, actually no.
With Sabina?
Sabina, yeah, actually 2 p.m. I already said.
Okay, so okay then probably we need to write it down as well. Mr. Secretary, can you please write down the meeting that Andres that Sabina said at 2 p.m. Okay, well, Secretary will write it down. I would like to forward it to the. Is there any question for this card, for this whole card, for Ultimate TV service, and then the COVID safe certification for the whole process of Ultimate TV service? Is there any question from you guys? No?
I
Okay,
think
great.
time because we will have another discussion during this project. So I think we have a big question there later on.
Okay, so I believe that we can just discuss it as well on the breakout meeting that we have at 3 p.m. Is that good, Andre? Great. Okay, so let's go over to Jing. Jing, it's Bukit Vista Community Hall for Foreigners.
Yes, thank you
That's
very
it for
much.
that, sir. Yeah,
Okay,
let's go open that one.
yes, this one I need to actually I need to clean up a little bit, but I will start. This one needs to be actually started by I think next week on Monday. So I will start this. I'll put the start date for May 17th. Yeah. Okay. So I'll put the start date on May 17th, and we can come back to it on Monday. Okay, so that's the update on that. And my second card for the webinar on other community town hall. That one's already been done, so I'll just put that over on the finish pile.
Okay. So
Done.
did you write down in the commenter or?
Yes, I'm just editing the card on W1 Rian for the foreigner, so I'll start that, like I said, on Monday. For the second card, the town hall that we did
Nice.
last week, that one I've just moved off the stack and it's moved into done right now.
Okay. Okay, so great. Okay, then I see that you already moved the card to done. And then do you have any meetings regarding this, sir?
Nope, no other
Nope.
meetings. Nope.
Okay, great. Is there any questions?
Rian, I think yesterday you said that you want to chat Cynthia regarding this about the blast message about the webinar. Have you already done it with Cynthia?
Oh, is it me? Did you guys ask me or
Huh?
is it?
So who?
I had.
Oh,
It's
India.
already done for
Okay.
the
Okay,
presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry
Thank
for
you.
that. If you ask me, sorry for that because I didn't get that. So yeah, thank you, Tandy, for covering. And for me, I already sent it to the squad one partner yesterday. So right away after you asked me, then I just sent it out. So if there is no further question, is there any question, guys?
Nope, I think all good.
Okay, so we can just move to my card. Then it's already merged as well. It's already merged as well. But then yeah, so the progress for this, if you can open the card, progress for this is the simulation test. So I just need to do simulation test, and then I will just roll out to every single properties, all the properties, to to save the time so that we can catch up with Andy's plan. Because it's just a simulation test. It's like the final step of this project. So I need to get it done by. I have the intention to get this thing done by this day, so that we can just start to have like a digitized project for the on-site staff in the region one. So I think that's all. That's all the update for me, and I don't have the breakout meeting for today. No. Yep, I think that's all for me. Is there any question? Would you like to ask? Probably then your. Okay, great. So, okay, oh cool. Oh yeah, I'm Rafiq already have a car. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I forget.
You can delete that. You can delete it if you want.
You need to make a motion first, sir. So yeah, okay, let's go to Rafiq art about product improvement based on survey.
Yeah,
Over to you.
yeah. Yesterday I already talked about my initiative. This one, so I already make like a type bomb or survey. So this one is I need advice also from you guys, so we can do it on the TSC meeting later. So this is the form, and also the key result is what exactly the owner needed for on our product. That is after we get what they needed. I will meeting with Bayu regarding what exactly the partner needed for on that feature. So that's why I make this form. So that's why as wait a moment. Did I send the form? Wait. I didn't put the form. I will put the form later.
Okay, great. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good idea.
This is the form. Yeah, so you can check it later. So I already make this one. So if you have any advice, you can put it there and write on my comment. Maybe I need also input from Bayu as well regarding the question, because this question will be at Bahasa Indonesia. So if you need more questions, so I just input it before I send to the partner. Okay, that is the progress announcement and already this one, and then tomorrow after you take advice and everything, so tomorrow I can deliver it to the partner. Thank you. That is update for me, and breakout meeting only at 3 p.m. with Andy, you and Andre, right?
Okay, so I don't know. Oh, okay, so there's a comment from Jing there. So yeah, asking about the.
Two things, actually. Rafik, if I may ask. So, Bayu, thank you for joining us here right now. This is actually pretty valuable. Um, Before you go out to, let's say, survey, I'd like a few things. Bayu, do you have any questions that you would like to put on this form too as well that Rafik will start sending out to the owners?
For questions, I guess it could be the simplest question if it's from me. So basically, what is the friction that they are having? Basically, are they using it now or not? And if not, why? Have they informed already by any Bukit Vista employee? If not, then we know. If already and they still haven't used it, then why? What is the difficulties? And then what are their suggestions to make it easier for them to use?
Okay, thank you, Bayu. So I already get your point on that one. So I will. So basically, this one is same like Bayu said. This is very simple. Did they know but bigger? Did they use it? That is the first one. And then the second one, uh, if you use it, from who you know it, and then if not, what is the friction? Uh, uh, oh, that's why in the community, if we know this owner is use it, this owner is not, so we know which owner we need to follow up. That is the point. Yeah.
Oh, I think we can add one more question on
Yeah.
when they want to be teach about when they want to do the training. So we just we don't need to know that they are using or not, but we just give it there. Even for people that already using it, maybe they also want to ask or need to be shown, so they can just input it right there.
Trello board is gone.
Sorry, yeah, that was me, guys. Yeah,
Okay.
trouble. Okay. Mr. Secretary, I think it might be good to have me, you, and Bayu into a discussion about this. This is a pretty important product development phase, and I think it will be it won't be the only time that we do this. We'll probably issue this product feedback survey on sort of a continuous.
I think since Rafik is doing this, can I ask you, Rafik, to join the product development discussion every day at 2:30?
2:30. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Can you invite me on the card, Bayu?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Bayu.
Okay then. I believe you should invite people as well, since Jing already
Yes.
suggest people about what market can put on the survey as well. So you guys will have some discussion on the, not just have discussion, but you'll move the discussion to the other chapter meeting. So that's good. And I saw that Rafik already put the platform. So if you guys want to have a look, you can just have a look there. So you probably at 3 p.m. you can have like an input as well for what question that can be inputted on the survey. So at 3 p.m. you can just talk about it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's great. So is there any question? Which I believe.
One more question actually for
Okay, Jing, for you.
Okay, Rafik's initiative or Rafik's pivot F1.1, is this actually belong in community, or does this belong to product?
So
Yeah.
I think this one is going to between each chapter. So now is IT or development is create the product, right?
Yeah.
And also they will deliver it to the partner and everything. And the community will follow up with which partner is done use it and
Right.
what partner is needed, right?
Great. Mhm.
So that is, I think it's between chapters.
Okay.
That's why, yeah, this is need to follow up from the community.
Definitely. Okay, there's cooperation.
Yeah.
But it actually, I do believe it belongs here, Rafik. This card is an interface with the community, and this is a way to get the community to understand, which is ultimately the mission of what we do in this chapter, right? Get the community to understand and actually adopt new practices. So yeah, this is placed in the right place. Okay. I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, I've also tagged value on this card too as well, since I think it's something that is relevant to product, and value should be aware of the material. Okay, let's back to the chair, please.
Okay, thank you, Jing. So I know that Jing's mentioned about that. I believe that the project code is F, which I don't know, it's correlated with my project, or is it going to be the project that's related with your project for improve the current culture of communication with owner? Because the code is F. Like, I just want to ask.
Good question. Okay, so currently project is under initiative F, which is owner community journal to support 3C. I would say also, no, that doesn't have any correlation, right? So,
Okay.
there's a bit of a mislabeling here. I think it's actually more G or A, Rafik, right? It's more of an A initiative. So, Rafik, I think we should label this as A 1.1, or maybe, probably A 1.1, because it's the 3Cs. So it's part of communication culture, and that's part of initiative A. So yeah, okay, there you go. All right, fixed.
Okay, great. Thank you, Marvin and Jane. So I just want to make sure, because now that Jane mentioned about that, so yeah, it's F, then it's going to belong to owner community journal, which I don't see the correlation between that. So thank you for clarification. And I think that pretty much cover everything. So just I just want to check if you okay, Mas Bayu, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Actually, regarding the product development or structure, I have some issue that I want to bring to this community management. So basically, we need to build a workflow and SLA, new workflow and new SLA for community management strategy, which is on I think let me see. It's called coaching and retention. I think it does actually join the development meeting on Monday.
Sorry, Bayu, your voice is breaking.
See, is everyone see? Oh, maybe I'll just repeat again here, yeah, quickly. So I will show you the flow, the workflow of the company that I've been working on,
Oh, the
and I'm
meeting,
sure. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
this one. So this is a map basically. This is to make it easier to see. This is not a complete representation of everything, but basically it goes like this. So there's a connection here. So in this part, this two part basically market building. This one is content. Market building will need to discover and also assist partner to be our partner. Then content creation will develop and monitor and improve. And then there's the sales operation, which is previously we do it HAR, so hospitality, air support and reservation. But the newest one probably this is during the COVID-19 situation, but probably in the future we always will continue doing this too. So we are mostly focusing on online support and not in the physical hosting. And then on revenue management, still the same. And then there's another part, services, that we are still developing, but it's not fixed yet. And then here are the part. So this is what? Okay. This one. Okay. So this is the app part. The app basically is connecting between all the staff in Bukit Vista with the partner. So this app main function is basically coordination, to coordinate between Bukit Vista and partner, whether that's content, coordinating reservation or anything. So daily operation, and then the item would be, there's a point of sales and expenses of the property. We will develop that functionality, but mainly what I want to bring to you is the community part. So community is not in this position, but mostly here. So basically, the app has two functions. After coordination, it's also serve as transparency and feedback. So this is something that we can use and owner also use. So they can see hospitality score, for example, by themselves. We don't need to tell them that they are doing good or they are doing bad. So they can see their score on the app, and then they can see the revenue and profit. They can see the status and performance of each listing, and then they can also submit a feedback, owner satisfaction of our services, right there. So this is where the community managers take place basically. So when we see a hospitality score, whether good or bad, what should we do? It goes back to community. So this is my question. So what should we do? What should we do? Like how we reward partner or staff that are delivering good performance, for example. So I need a community manager also think about that, because we never think about that actually. We always say to partner that, hey, you should be doing this, but it's not they don't really get the message, because there's no what do you call it, like appreciation or even punishment. They don't feel it. So they just say, oh yeah, the guest complained last month, so that's just one guest out of 100, for example. That's the response that we don't want, that kind of response. So we need to have a workflow for doing that. And then also the other part is that after the partner is actually deciding to work with us, on market building side, they will assist and do all the data collection and partnership and everything. But on the education part, we need to do the coaching for the partner as well. Like, what is Bukit Vista hospitality standard? So when someone partnering with Bukit Vista, we will assume that they don't have any hospitality standard. So they come to us to improve their hospitality standard. So we should have this. We should have a curriculum basically to teach the staff, teach everyone how to bring food. Is it on your in front of your face or on the side of your face, or how to clean anything, clean the floor or clean the bathroom, for example. So we should have that standard already. So currently we don't have that. We need to make that. We if we want to be a hospitality company, then we should have any hospitality practices. So this is something that we need to build hospitality standard, and I want to do it on here basically because mostly the community managers are coming from HR background. Then that should be the best scenario to build this. Wait, let me close this.
Okay.
Okay, so and then the next part, of course, is the same, using technology. So we will not have this problem anymore. So the problem is that we have the technology, but the partner don't know how to use it. So in the future, the first thing that we introduce to partner is technology. So we will not work without technology. So if you want to partner, sign this, learn the technology, and then we will use it. So that's something that we have to do in the beginning of the partnership. And then the third one is the reward and punishment. That's how we appreciate the staff, mostly not particularly the owner, because the owner will be happy with a good revenue anyway. So but the staff to what do you call it? Like give them some sort of like oh yeah, I need to be the best employee of the month, like, because I will get like a bonus or like a badge or something like that. I think that's important for the staff, because they need something to hold on, because the staff don't really care about revenue or booking pace or anything like that, because if the revenue is going down, the partner will lose the money and the owner will lose the money, but the staff still get paid, right? So we need something that they really, it's different thing to achieve on whether partner and staff, because our services is actually mostly relying on the staff instead of the owners. So I think what my vision on community management is actually, this is an education center. The community management will coach, will lead the partner and the staff, and then make sure that they are still working with. That's why it's coaching and retention.
Okay.
We need a program. We need something to sell to the partner to why they want to work with us. So this is the issue that I want to bring to community management. So far I have these 5 questions. So how we are making sure partner are delivering our hospitality standard. That's the question. But first, before we answer the question, do we have a hospitality standard? So the answer is no. So we need to make a hospitality standard. And then how and when we coach partner about our hospitality standard. My suggestion is at the beginning of a partnership. Third question, how we reward partner or staff that are delivering good performance. And then fourth question, who will be focusing on creating BVO hospitality standard guidebook? This is still open. So any one of you guys, you want to focus on creating this guidebook, the standard, just I don't know, just discuss it on the community management board, and then to create partner support workflow or ticket system. If partner want to complain to us, how they should complain to us. Currently, we don't have that. Currently, we have only WhatsApp group or the partner calling the host or calling finance, but we need some system to handle that as well.
Okay.
So that's it. That's the issue that I want to bring.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bayu, for that. Oh wait, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Get to carry it away, sir. Okay.
Bayu, can you share that card to me, and then I will bring this up at the next community management discussion. Yeah, I think this is a discussion topic. Okay.
Okay, so I will share this card to community Trello board, I guess. Okay, yeah. And is that something that can be shared or something like that, like the the connections that you just showed us? Is it going to be something that can be shared to us?
Yes, I'm looking for that, but if I share it, you won't see the connection. I will make it easier to read.
Okay, then yeah. So just probably you can just put the link as well on the Trello board or on the commit Trello board so that we can just have a look, and then probably is there a dedicated time to talk about this later? Like
I think it should be on community management.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay, so how do we make sure that this discussion get continued on the next meeting?
Oh, go ahead, Rian.
Okay, so I guess Jing suggests that we're going to talk about this in the next meeting. Is that so, Jing? Over to you, Jing.
Yeah, I think we can talk about this as soon as this finishes. In fact, so normally we have the discussion management paper, and I'm just moving all these questions over to that. That's generally where the discussions happen. Okay, let's actually, if we're finished, we have about 15 minutes. Maybe we can dive into it while everyone's here. I think that would be a good use of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put that card that Bayu just put in onto the CM board. And what I'll do is I'll bring you guys through the evolution. Okay, great. Let's take the CM board right now. Brianna, could I pass the chair to me and lead the discussion around this idea?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so the discussion is on this card now. And what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and move over here. So this is the discussion management paper. And let's add Buddy's questions over to this forum. All right. Let's open this up. I think this is really good, Buddy. Thank you for bringing these questions up. And all right, let's do this because this is kind of tricky. I'm going to screenshot this. Let's go to the first question. How do we actually create a hospitality standard? Let's go over to Rafik. Rafik, what are your thoughts on this, about creating a hospitality standard?
Also, your voice is breaking, sir.
Okay, so the question is, how do we actually create a hospitality standard, Rafik? So who's going to be making sure that the on-site team actually knows, like we already have, I'll begin this discussion with this. We already have, I think, some progress in hospitality standards through COVID Safe Clean. That we've highlighted that particular stage out. But what about other things? What about like bed sheets or toilets or other things? How are we going to be able to create that standard and discussion around that? So let's go to Rapid first. What do you think we should do? Okay, Rafik, there's quite a lot of noise. Also, I think I hear a lot of chatter from your earphones. Let's go to Andre. Andre, any ideas on how we can set hospitality standards?
For now, it's still confusing, sir. I don't really have idea.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Tendi. Tendi, yeah.
Can you mute Rafik?
Rafik, would you be able to mute real quick?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because hospitality is a lot of scope that I know, right? So is it hospitality like for the welcoming guests, or we make the standard for overall, or what? So actually for just like welcoming and helping guests during their stay. This is going to the staff and to the owner, or to the staff only, or to the owner only. There's some another sub question again, and then for this one, we cannot like control overall. Like we have to see everything from the start. They already did, but the best way to get the feedback is from the guests, or from the review, or from the feedback to the HR team. And then to make the standard, actually we can make the standard first by maybe we can have a community networking. So we invite like the maybe the supervisor or the manager in the hotel, how they usually welcoming the guests or everything. So the step as well, how they train their staff or the reception team in the hotel or in the something to have a good standard of the hospitality, so we can have a good source of the created by our own. So we can like have a good source that is already happen on the maybe like Four Season or my Ayana or something with the high hospitality standard. Also, I think that's the best way to actually to get the standard, and then how to train, how to deliver the standard to the staff, so the staff can understand this is our standard for hospitality. For example, like you have to smile. Smile is just the simple the smile or greeting. If every like when you meet the people, just greeting, even like the bakso or everything, just in the hotel scope or something, you have to greeting. That's the standard of the hospitality, the greeting and the smile. So like that. So we have to discuss and then asking for from the good source, and then we can discuss it and then make our own standard from that particular source.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's an interesting topic, right? There's quite a bit of stuff. I would agree with Tendy. There is a pretty wide scope. And the way I think we can go about this is we have to really look at what we control and what is a little bit, let's say, not within our control. We control communication and we control sort of marketing, right? Those are the biggest factors that we have influence over. So, like the COVID safe thing, we can put the label onto their listing if they are COVID safe compliant, and we can remove it from their listing if they are not COVID safe compliant. The rest of the hospitality metrics are sort of auto aggregated already by Airbnb through reviews. But I think from then we can create like the control factors of what we can do well versus things that we will have, like, let's say, more challenges with. This idea of inviting an external party here to create these standards is pretty interesting. Like Pat Indra has a group already on this idea of butlers, but I wonder how much of this is just common sense and how much of it do we need actually professional help to figure out. Um, you can see a lot of superhosts, right? They never had professional training, but yet they're able to be superhosts. Why? Most of it, I think, is somewhat common sense. Most of it is, this is the way that a bed should look like. These are the top 10 mistakes that let's say is bad. These are all the errors that we see. So I think we can create these kind of education programs through video even. Maybe we can try using, let's say, video education. Like these are like what we did for the COVID safe video, right? Can we make that for housekeeping? Can we make that for food and beverage service? Can we make that for other disciplines and have people watch it, have them checklist off, and then make sure that these standards are transparent to both guests, owners, and the on-site team, so that when we're talking about this, everyone knows what the game plan is. Okay, I think this is probably a better discussion if we have it in a smaller group, or how to create the cleaning standards. There's quite a lot to design. Let's talk about this. How do we make sure that the partners are actually delivering the standard graphic? This is something that we've always had challenges with, is enforcement of rules, because partners will just say things like, yeah, like who cares, it's just one guest, right? Like what Pat Harry often refers to, and I don't believe what the guest has said, I believe my own family is doing a good job. But in the end of the day, how do we actually make sure that when we say, hey, look, this needs to be fixed, they'll actually do it?
Hello. Thank you. Sorry, bad connection. Yeah. So I think the first one regarding the hospitality standard, we need to know the step by step. Same like you said, the communication and marketing. That is only the best thing that we can do it to the partner, right? And then the step is like a welcome. Well, how do we must know it what the BP standard for hospitality, and we can make it by ourselves. It's not like what is called we always hosting the guests, how we make the guests happy, everything. So the first one, like step one, how do we welcoming the guests, and then the like blah 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 until the guest is checked out. That is the first one. The second one, how the question is very good. Why how we monitoring that one, and how we same like by you said, uh, reward or punishment.
Hmm.
So this is open discussion. Should we always going there to check what they
Don't need.
do,
Don't need.
or based on this, the feedback that owner or guest give to us? That is the question. So
Okay. All right. So what is our signals? I think it can be very simple, Rafik. It can be just if you get, let's say, reward and punishment, I think, can be done a few ways. It can be done through finance, and it can be done through recognition, both positive recognition and negative recognition. So you don't necessarily need to check all the time. You would just need to look at guest reviews. That's what the ultimate score is. So let's say you get 3 consecutive bad guest reviews, then we need to do something about that, right? We need to either, let's say, we delist your property, or until you get that better, or whatever. Airbnb automatically does that already, Rafik. So we might not need to do too much. But I think that can be what we need to decide is, let's say, at what point do we stop working with you? At what point do we go like, all right, this is not tolerable anymore, and we are going to sever the contract? Or maybe what we can have is a security deposit, and this can be essentially a security deposit held by Bukit Vista for quality of work. And if you fail on the quality of work, then we take your security deposit and we let you off the contract. That can be another sort of financial and whatever deal that we have with, say, partners for quality of service. I think that can be, yeah, there can be positive spins on the reward and punishment too. For what Bayu said, what I suggest can happen is that every on-site staff now gets a review on their profile, right? So essentially, when normally when the reviews go, they go to the property, but let's say everyone's using the BV app now across all of Bali. So now reviews don't just okay. Well noted, Andre. Reviews don't just accumulate onto the property's profile; they go onto the worker's profile. So whenever you get, let's say, a 5-star review for cleanliness, that shows up on your Breezy app profile. That might be useful. That might be good recognition and stuff. So you can find another job that way, right? You can go and show your next potential employer, hey, look, on the BV app, I was getting, 16 5-star reviews, right? And these all came to me. Oh, what's the BV app? It's the app that everybody's using. So then by that can be another form of, let's say, recognition and such. But okay, I think we're almost out of time. We've got about 5 more minutes, and this is actually a pretty big discussion. I think the best way that we can conduct this is we need to have smaller groups. Let's go over here. Does anybody want to lead these discussions? Because these are very fundamental and foundational discussions for how we are going to evolve as a company. Does anybody want to volunteer for this? Let's see, going once. Okay, all right. Tendi and Rafik, why don't we do this? Okay, all right, thank you. Why don't we do this then? Tendi, Rafik, Rian, why don't you guys get together and come up with some solutions, right? So sit in a room, take as long as you need, and let's say within a week, can you come back to us and just give us some ideas, refined ideas for what you would like? And then we can review these, I think, next week by you for this particular idea. And we'll have some solutions for this. I think these are good questions. These are fundamental questions about how we're going to grow a community. We already have some ideas, gentlemen. So we already know what we can do with videos. We know what we can do with labels and badges, and we know what we can do with online training. So we've been doing that already with CSC, with bigger training, and with the digitized check-in process that Tendi's doing. Now what we're asking is, can we actually take it further and develop the entire stack from A to Z, from housekeeping to food and beverage to the whole entire thing? Is there a way to actually create a training and education process that staff can go through to become smart and know how to do the job? And then, is there a monitoring process? Right now, what we do to monitor for CSC is what, Tendi? What do we use to control the the quality of service for CSC?
For the monitoring, I believe Andre have a video meeting, a video call with the staff, and then see what is the equipment and they use it, and then do they like cleaning each room with the right, and then show how to clean, and then make sure they checking list on the paper checklist.
Right. There's a few ways. So we monitor through a video inspection and also the checklist, which is posted on every room. And it should be signed and dated by the person who cleaned the room. So that way, any guest who checks in can see, this room was cleaned according to this standard, and this is this. Similarly, everyone, we can do the same for all the other standards, right? We can have a similar checklist that you can compress the entire checklist down into a few things. And then that would be a certification that is visible to guests, visible to staff, and everyone would see what essentially has been done, and the staff would sign for it. Furthermore, if there's a way that we can take that idea of a checklist and digitize it such that that can be done online, and we can see, okay, that's been done, then we would know, okay, all right, the room is ready to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this card is, I put Rafik and Tendi on it right now for the main discussion. I'll put Rian too on it as well. But I do believe that the fewer people that work on the initial stages, the better, because otherwise too much discussion can get very confusing, right? So I would just ask, let's say at this point, for Rafik, I think you have the least amount on your plate right now. Just think of like the foundational approach to do each of these standards, right? How are we going to do it? Is it through a method of transparency, badges, video instruction? What is that delivery process going to be like? And then what is the reward and punishment going to be like? I can come up with my imagination, but I think you know your community better than I do, what they would consider a reward, what they would consider a working punishment. And creating the standard guidebook, I think can be done once we have decided, Tendi, what's the scope? What are the standards that we will guarantee to our guests, and we will hold our partners accountable for? Okay. All right. And yeah, I think you guys can come up with a lot of discussion around whether or not we use a checklist or we just trust the person's best judgment. I think that's up to you guys, right, for that part, and then we can discuss again. But let's set a deadline, I think, by, let's say, next week. So next Thursday, if possible, let's get some basic stuff out so that we can start building this. Let me just double check with Buddy. Buddy, when does this need to be finished from your perspective?
I think it should be developed together with the app that we are developing, because we cannot. This should be integrated basically. We can say something on the app, and then on the reality we also should do this. So there's no missing link right there. I think in about like a month or 2 months, this should be finished already.
So let's just do this then. The review for next Thursday will just be a general review to see what our first draft of ideas are, and then we will move more quickly towards a finished set of standards by the end of the month. Okay. So yeah. I think this is a good start. That way we have essentially a control over how things are going to be in the future, and we have some standards put into place, and we'll have some ways of dealing with uncooperative partnerships. Tendi, you are right. I think what you can actually ask for is we might need to connect with some people who are actually not at creating the standards, but creating the enforcement. So we'll need probably to network somebody pretty up there on Four Seasons, maybe like a general manager or even a regional vice president, to ask them, what do you do when the hotel does not actually, because they don't employ the staff. The owner employs the staff, right? The owner actually pays the staff, just like what we do. Well, what do you do if the owner doesn't cooperate or if these standards aren't being met in terms of reward and punishment on that side? So that, I think, can help frame this discussion a little bit better. And that's where you can do some professional networking to figure out what the answers are. Okay? It's just an idea. Okay, fantastic. I think that's pretty much it, the end of this discussion. Rian, okay, I'll turn to you to conclude the meeting then.
Okay, thank you, sir. So the cheers will be me again. So that's pretty much it for everyone. Since we already concluded the meeting, and then everybody already has already told us about what meeting that they're going to have after this. So um, I think that's pretty much it. That's concluded the meeting. Just before we join the meeting, I just want to ask for feedback so that probably I can get there. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to Jing first because you're the only.
I'll go last. I'll go last. Actually, Rian, I'll go last. Here. Go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Start.
Okay.
Yeah. Start the.
Okay. So set the man that we're the only free shirt here. Okay. So from Tandy first, then real quick. Yeah.
From my side is you going better than before. So good improvement, Rian. Thank you.
Okay. So from Rafik, of course I never do clarify. Yeah. Okay. Rafik. So I'm Rafik again. You're muted, sir.
It's better, bro. Very good.
Okay then. Okay, from the guest then, from the guest by Mr. Bayu.
This is about chairing the meeting.
Sharing.
Okay, I see. I guess from me, you could still do better. I think you can be more hands-on on the problems that this chapter have, instead of just being the administrator of the meetings. You can actually lead the meeting and discussion to push it to get a result. I think that's my feedback.
Okay, yeah, cool. So okay, thank you, Mas Bayu. I think so as well. So yeah, probably it's going to be my next improvement. I hope. So since there's people here already, so Jing, real quick.
All right, sure. Thank you, Rian, and thank you for volunteering today. There's a few things I think, Rian, that we'll need to work on. One, I think, is your. I do see improvement. That's definitely there. But the other thing I think is decisiveness. It is. Whoops. Okay, I think the connection just wavered. Okay, the connection just broke. I think I just got back. What is decisiveness, Rian? So a lot of times I feel like you're confused, and then that creates more confusion across the entire chapter. So I think that will get better through experience. Rihan. Like the more times you share, the more clear this coordination process will be. You have to remember that if you're unclear on meeting, like remember this particular idea of the sub discussion at 3 o'clock. I think we reiterated it about 5 times, and so it got to me to be that point where you weren't sure, and then somebody else wasn't sure, and then there was a lot of uncertainty there. So being part of a chair, it's important to be decisive, to like be very clear. Okay, this is where we're going, and then just leave it at that. That way, people know that that's been set up. So that part, I think, is like I said, something that will grow with experience. The second part, I think, is just agility and being chair is difficult because you're sort of looking at a lot of different things, and you need to process all these different threads and look for connection points. That once again is a little bit like playing basketball, to refer to Dennis Rodman's thing. Sometimes you have to dribble, you have to shoot, you have to do all these. You have to make. So that part of agility, I don't quite see there yet. But once again, with more experience and more times doing this, I think it'll become more clear. This could probably, because you're also probably the least experienced right now. You're only in community. I would say maybe if you want, you can join the HAR sync ups just so that you can get a little bit more experience and get a little bit more playtime with this idea of how to chair. And I think that would see improvements in your agility and also in your decisiveness. And once those two parts are there, which I'm sure they will be, then I think you will chair in a very fluent way, and it will be great. And yes, and the next level is to get to where Bayu's talking about, where you address, where you detect that there's problems, right? You see that there's friction, it's not moving, or there's a little bit of obscurity. That's where you jump on. You say, I need this more clear because I don't understand it, and that comes after, I think, even more experience and more self confidence in this role. But I do see progression, Rian, and that part is good, but there's still more progression. And this goes back to also Tendi and Rafik. You guys got to also give, I think, we cannot just say, okay, good enough, right? Because that then creates a standard issue within our own chapter. When we see things that aren't quite right, we got to call it out, and don't be afraid to call it out. This is a safe space, right? There's no judgment. It's not about humiliating anybody. This should be a safe space where everybody can learn and can get the nutritious feedback that they would need in order to progress to the next level. So please don't deny anybody that opportunity because, okay? That's
Okay.
All
Okay
right.
then.
Thank you very much.
So yep. See ya. Thank you. So
You need to put take the
Yeah.
chairman, next chairman.
Oh
So,
yes. Oh yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. So sorry for everyone that already here. So we're about to. Okay, Mr.
Okay,
Tucker.
only you guys do that on your own, yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
You
Okay
guys,
then.
I'm sure can figure that out. Okay, all right, see you guys.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.